Hey Familia, Igni here. The final cards for Omen of the 10 have been revealed, so let's talk about it. Custom Card Weekly will be pushed to tomorrow. One, because I'm doing this video, and also because I have a massive headache, and Custom Card Weekly takes a lot more time to do than this. So, anyway, just wanted to make that announcement. Let's jump into it. Feena, Dynamite, Daredevil, 4.33 gold neutral follower. Fanfare, deal 1 damage to an enemy. Evolve, full stats, and also destroy all enemy followers that cost 1 play point or less. It's actually not too bad, right? It counters specifically the new Cerberus quite well, but even then it seems like it's kind of a really situational tech card. Could be helpful against, you know, board of fairies or what have you, but even then feels like it's a bit situational for it to be super useful anywhere. But it's not bad at all either. So I'd rank it like as an okay thing that probably is going to be hard to find a place for it in constructed decks. Sleep Incantation, 3 play point silver runecraft spell. Draw a card. A random follower can't attack until the start of your next turn. Return that follower to the player's hand instead if you have 20 cards or less in your deck. This card seems pretty slow. Like, it's cool. The fact that it draws you a card is of course very good, but you're casting 3 play points for a lock effect essentially. Might be used in, you know, Rune 20 decks to really try and control the game at the end. Like, you can send back a ward and then play your Abyss Summoner or what have you, but it just seems a little slow, right? And the fact that it's random also makes it a lot less effective than it otherwise could be. Mechanization, Portalcraft silver spell, 0 play points. Choose, put 2 copies of the 2 following cards into your deck. Analyzing Artifact, Ancient Artifact, Mystic Artifact, or Radiant Artifact. This card seems really solid because you can choose what you want. And the fact that you can just shuffle Radiants for free, essentially, is incredibly helpful, especially when you're on the Radiant Artifact spam plan. And getting another one of these artifacts is not bad as well, because, you know, you can just shuffle them in real quick. Even the same turn that you play Enervating Mail, for example, and then just get something out. You don't even have to play any of the 2 play point stuff beforehand, although you probably should. But I think really the main thing here is that you can shuffle Radiants into your deck, which helps you out a lot. You don't necessarily have to run Ironforged Fighter anymore, unless you want to, or you could and just have more Radiant spam in your deck. And having that access to Radiance makes it so that you can run the Apostle as well, and then you can just spam Storm into face. That's quite good. Quite strong. Moving on, we have Cerberus, Hound of Hades, 5 play point 33 fanfare, summon a Mimi right paw Hellhound and a Coco left paw Hellhound. Evolve, give all other allied followers last words, deal 1 damage to a random enemy follower. So give everything a Belinus effect and full evolve stats. And Mimi is a 2/1 that has last words, deal 2 damage to the enemy leader. And Coco has last words, deal restore 2 defense to your leader rather, and has 1/2 stat line. This is I'm really disappointed in this. This feels like not a good way forward. I mean, how are you gonna limit Gremory for mid-range Shadowcraft and then give them Cerberus, right? And then in rotation you have the Cerberus into the Gremory play. I mean, as if Shadowcraft didn't have enough board flood already, right? Maybe this is meant to push mid-range in rotation. But this just seems like way too over the top. It's like a 6/6 on curve with upside, and you can Gremory it, or Ector it, or Gilnelise it, or what have you. Just, it's a bit over the top. I'm not very happy about this, but, you know, it's a very good card. Don't get me wrong. It's just maybe a little too good, especially with the other cards coming up here. Charon, or Karen, Stygian Ferrywoman, 6 play point 5/5. Fanfare, randomly put a Shadowcraft follower that costs 5 play points from your deck into your hand, so you can fetch the Cerberus with this. And evolve Necromancy 5, subtract 5 from the cost of a Shadowcraft card in your hand until the end of the turn. So on turn 6 you can play this and Cerberus, or even Darkblade, for example. And it's 5 play points specifically, not 5 play points or less. So you always pull the best thing out of this, and it's well, it's a 6 play point 5/5 draw card, or a 6 play point 5/5 which you can evolve to just flood the board with an insane amount of stats on an evolve turn, which is nuts. This is nuts. I guess we really are Shadowverse now, huh? Yeah, very strong, very strong. Orthrus, Junior Hellhound, 4 play point 4/3 fanfare Necromancy 3. Deal 4 damage to an enemy follower. Oh, come on. You're really gonna do Mummy like this? You're really gonna do Mummy like this? Oh, poor Mummy. Oh boy. Yeah. Strong card. What can I say? With all this, plus the Omen that they got, I'm so done, man. Shadowcraft is a thing. Shadowcraft is gonna be such a thing. Alright, moving on. Jiraiya, the other Swordcraft legendary here, Officer, 9.88, Accelerate 2, change an enemy follower's attack and defense to 1/1. Fanfare, change all enemy followers' attack and defense to 1/1. This actually seems like a really solid card in an archetype that just isn't there. You know, like, in Control Swordcraft, this would be pretty good. This would be pretty good. But Control Swordcraft isn't a thing. So, and I don't think that Jiraiya is gonna make it a thing. I hope to be proven wrong, but seems like it's not gonna be a thing. But you could use it as well as is just for, you know, really efficient trades, maybe? Like, you use it early, but it seems kind of unimpactful to... I mean, it's kind of like a pseudo removal, I suppose. It's not bad at all. And then turn 9, you play this after you flooded the board with Arthur and Sky Fortress, I guess. It's actually pretty solid now that I think about it more, but it really does feel like it's a card meant for Control Swordcraft, which doesn't exist. But, you know, it's not a bad card at all. It's a bit strange that it's not in the unkilling Forestcraft thing, because it seems like an unkilling card, right? But, yeah. I like it a lot, actually. It's pretty neat. High Seas Hero, Swordcraft Officer, 3.33. That evolves into a 6/6. I really don't think this is a good idea. I do not think that the 3.33 stat line is a good idea at all, especially in crafts like Swordcraft, like Shadowcraft, that can really benefit off this insane tempo. The 3/3 in Runecraft I kinda got, because it's not that beneficial for the class, like it doesn't really fit into what they want to do a lot of the time. But for Swordcraft, and this evolves with a +3/+3 as well. Like... This is kind of frustrating. Like, I don't see why this had to be a thing. Like, I don't know why this has to be the new normal. I don't think it's a good idea. Like, if you go first to Swordcraft now, you can play just this. They have to answer it, and they'll be hard-pressed to unless they're playing their own 3/3s, I suppose. And then they can just evolve this for, like, a crazy body as well for 3 play points. Holy smokes, man. Oh, oh my lord. And there's been a precedent for, you know, X play point, XX stat lines with no effect, but this is not something that has no effect. It comes down really early in a tempo class that evolves with extra stats as well, so... I don't know, man. I'm not looking forward to this. Astral Divination, 3 play point Runecraft Bronze spell. Randomly put 2 of the following cards into your hand. Venus, Pollux, Star Phoenix, Caster, Scorpius, or Andromeda. Basically, put 2 of the Star Force Legends mascots into your hand. Earthright, subtract 1 from the cost of these cards. This seems like not good, right? Unless you're playing like a really grinder Runecraft, which just seems like, why would you ever do that? Because Giant Chimera is a thing. They didn't get hit in the nerfs at all. They got new toys even in the expansion. I don't know why you'd ever play this. Moving on. It's good in take 2 though. Probably. Maybe even not good in take. I don't know. It seems like slow. See, it's probably good in take 2 later on in the game. Alright, Furious Mountain Deity. 4.34 for Forestcraft Bronze. Fanfare and hand 7, gain +2/+2 and Rush, so it's a 7 play point 5/6 with Rush. Pretty okay. Whenever this follower attacks, gain +1/+0. Cool. So it's like a 7 play point 6/6 with Rush. Not bad. But I think the extent of this card is not bad, right? It's essentially just a vanilla follower with slight, very slight upside. Not too impactful for the board state or the game state. Doesn't really fit into a lot of the Forestcraft game plans. Just seems like a big guy. The Rush in hand 7 is very good for take 2 though, for sure. And the fact that it has flexibility as a 4 play point body as well. It seems like a take 2 oriented card to me, but in constructed, nah. Steadfast Angel, 1 play point 1/1, Ward, Fanfare, Enhance 4, gain +2/+2. Well, this is a card that exists. Moving on. Whispering Woods, 2 play point, Forestcraft Bronze Amulet, countdown 1, Fanfare, select an enemy follower, it can't attack next turn. Lock Forestcraft, coming back boys, Fanfare Enhance 4, add 2 to this amulet's countdown. And at the end of your turn, put a random Forestcraft. Excuse me? wait, what? I believe this should be put a random Forestcraft card or follower into your hand, and if that's the case, this card I actually quite like a lot. If they're really trying to push Forestcraft control style decks, this might be seen as something that's in there, right? I mean, it's a lock card, which can really slow your opponent down, and it gives you a card draw option. So it's a controlling tool that also draws you a card. I don't really see what the downside of it is, so seems like a pretty okay thing to have, honestly, if you're really trying to go in the long game for Forestcraft. Because this helps you draw through your deck, helps you draw your combo pieces or just more resources, while you prevent damage going into your face, so pretty nice. This reminds me a lot of, what's it, Pajama Sam though, hey? This really does remind me of Pajama Sam. You guys play Pajama Sam? The one where he lands in a forest full of the talking trees? You know what I'm talking about. Those of you with taste know what I'm talking about anyway. Here's the final batch of cards here. Sorry, what's this? We are the judges charged to protect the goddess's sacred lands. We have failed our trial, so bend over and present your posterior for punishment. I'm not okay with this. So, Havencraft, 7.45, BDSM boy band, Storm, 4/5, and then Evolve, it's still a Storm. Well, it's a Storm card. It's like a Gilgamesh, one cheaper with less attack, right? But for Havencraft specifically, I don't really know what this is gonna fit in. Maybe if you play like aggro Haven, this could be your top end, but that just doesn't seem like a thing. Like maybe you run this if you're not playing Summit Temple as one of your Storm finishers, rather than Heavenly Knight, maybe? I don't know. Seems kind of underwhelming, but again, it has Storm in it. So whenever the card has Storm in it, I'm always like, yeah, this could be good. So, we'll see, we'll see. You could like play this into Taurus, right? Just go Storm Curve all the way up, if you want. I don't know how effective that's gonna be with cards like Poseidon and other defensive cards being introduced in this set. The Disciple of Silence as well, being something that blocks this, right? So, yeah, seems like it's a card with Storm. What can I say? It may be good, but it seems kind of underwhelming, especially in Havencraft, I would say. Although maybe you could ramp into this with Marwyn and then have that be your game plan. That'd be pretty interesting. Netherworld Horseman, Shadowcraft Bronze, 5.35, Rush, Fanfare, Necromancy 4, deal 2 damage to the enemy leader. This is really bad. You compare this to Orthrus and you compare this to Cerberus that we just got in this expansion. Why would you ever play this? Seems like a take-two card, I think. And even then, like the Necromancy effect is not really impactful. So this just seems quite underwhelming. Swordserpent Guardian, 4.22 for Bloodcraft Bronze card. Fanfare, summon 2 serpents. Enhance 8, give Bane and Rush to all allied serpents. Ooh. Serpent synergy just in time for the Medusa leader. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. I don't think this is gonna make Medusa good though. I just don't think it's enough, man. I don't even think Medusiana is good. Like, the payoff is not even that good, right? So why would you go through all the lengths to summon it? Yeah. That's about it. That's about all I have to say. Medusiana is especially not good because Lakoko exists. There's another thing that I want to talk about. Lakoko is just a card that I wish would go away. But, yeah. Solid card for an archetype that just doesn't have a good enough payoff. Silver Automaton, Portalcraft's Silver Follower, 7.57. Ward, last words, put 2 puppets into your hand. It just seems clunky, big ward dude. As a puppet generator, it comes down, I think, way too late, frankly. And the list for puppets is pretty tight already. Although Puppet got really massively nerfed recently, so maybe you want to run this? I don't know. I don't think so. Even still, you don't run this, I don't think. It seems like a take-two card. Big buff ward in take-two. Seems good. And that's all the cards. Kind of an underwhelming finish there. I would have put Cerberus last maybe, but there you have it. Omen of the 10, all the cards revealed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Not on just these reveals, but I guess on what you think the expansion is going to be like overall, since we have the complete picture. Like the video if you did, don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Shadowverse content, Omen of the 10 hype in the very near future. Of course, thank you to my wonderful patrons, patreon.com/Ignideus. If you'd like to support the channel as well, I would highly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.